Okay, welcome back, boys and girls. We are episode 12 of BB True Crime. I am Becky.
I am Beth.
And we are here with a quick little episode for y'all, your little daily dose, which is actually weekly, of crime. I've been informed that it's an unsolved case.
It is.
It's a good one, but she will release no other details. So, what have you got for me today?
So, episode 12 is the case of the Somerton Man. This man, even his name has never been found out.
Oh, yes.
So he's a John Doe. But obviously,
which is intriguing because now we'll have no background information on him either.
No, the whole case is just shrouded in a mystery. Much of it is still unsolved.
I love it.
I doubt it ever will be.
Yeah, to be fair, you go a certain past it being unsolved.
Yeah,
chances are
so much.
Nah, bro.
Yeah. So
tell me about
the Somerton Man.
The Somerton?
Yeah.
The Somerton Man. Okay.
So that's because he was named after the location he was found.
Fair. So, kind of like the unknown soldier.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. So he was an unidentified man found dead in 1948 on the Somerton Park beach.
Okay. That's a lot later. That's a lot earlier than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I was expecting it to be like 60s, 70s, and you're like 40s. I'm like, damn.
Yeah. End of the 40s. So that is south of Adelaide in South Australia. Shout out to Caitlin.
Australia, sorry. Sea shanties. Miss you, Caitlin.
You know she's listening.
I know she's listening. That's why I said I miss her.
So maybe she knows about this.
Maybe she does. If you do know any deets, you let us know now.
She just secretly knows how to solve the case.
Yeah,
we know it. So
it's Caitlin. Of course she could.
On the 1st of December 1948, at 6:30 in the morning, the police were contacted about the body of a man who had been discovered on the Somerton beach. So, you know where, if you imagine a beach, which is easy for me because obviously I grew up in a seaside town, but there's there's the sea or the river, the sand, and then there's the wall. It's like the bank wall, and then up, above it is the bit where you walk.
Promenade.
Yeah. Yep. So, against the wall, he was found sat up, propped up against the wall, legs straight out, arms next to him at his side.
Just looking out to the sea.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably very pretty.
But that's how he was found.
Okay.
So, yeah, head resting against the sea wall, legs extended, feet crossed. It was believed, from just looking at him, that he died while sleeping or something. An unlit cigarette was found on the right collar of his coat, and a search of his pockets revealed an unused second-class train ticket from Adelaide to Henley Beach, and also a bus ticket from the city that probably wasn't used.
Okay.
So it looked like he may have had plans to go elsewhere, but obviously he never made it there and died on the Somerton beach.
Damn.
So a couple saw him around 7 p.m. the night before it was reported to the police.
And just thought he was sleeping?
They believed they saw him extend his right arm and then drop it. Another couple saw him some point between 7:30 to 8. The night before he was found. That was about the time the streetlights came on, and they said that they didn't see him moved during the half an hour that they could see him, but they had the impression that from his position that he may have changed position or something, but it was hard to tell.
They just thought he was sleeping.
Yeah. They commented to themselves that it was weird that he wasn't reacting to the mosquitoes that were in Australia. But they assumed he was either drunk or asleep.
Yeah.
Another witness came forward in 1959 and reported to the police that he and 3 other people had also seen the man, who was well dressed. He was in a full-piece suit when he was found.
Ooh, nice 3-piece suit. Sexy.
But they had said that they had seen a well-dressed man carrying another man on his shoulders along the Somerton Park beach the night before the body was found. So the chances of the fact that his body was placed there could also be very high. Yeah. Considering there was no there was like no blood, nothing.
No signs of a scuffle or disturbance or anything.
Nothing whatsoever.
Wild. So
the man was said to have been British appearance and thought to be around 40 to 45.
How does one exactly have a British appearance?
I don't know. Yeah. I do ask the people.
Go ask the people.
Granted, it was the 40s.
Thank you.
Now it is not.
It is not.
He was apparently said to look in top physical condition. He was about 5 feet 11 inches tall, grey eyes, fair to ginger colour hair, but slightly grey around the temples. He had broad shoulders, a narrow waist, and hands and nails that showed no signs of manual labour.
I was about to say he could have been a soldier, but the hands kind of are
apparently not. His big and little toes also apparently met like in a wedge shape. So, for example, like a dancer, though that being very unlikely, or someone who wore boots with pointed toes,
like the upper class and the upper middle class.
So
my granddad has the same.
Oh,
his feet go like that.
Yeah, there you go. So he was dressed in a white shirt, a red, white, and blue tie, brown trousers, socks, and shoes, all on the beach. He was fully dressed. Okay. A brown knitted pullover and a fashionable grey and brown double-breasted jacket of apparently American tailoring. However,
never go to an American tailor.
All the labels on his clothes had been removed.
Convenient. Almost like somebody was covering their tracks.
A little bit, yeah. But not necessarily, because he could have done it himself. For example, if he was a spy. That was something that spies tended to do.
Normal people don't remove tailor marks.
You never know.
It's a flashy thing. It's like going to Hollister and buying a t-shirt that says Hollister on the front so you can say you have a Hollister shirt. You know.
Well, it's never been proven either way. He had no hat, which was unusual. None was ever found, and it was unusual for 1948.
Yeah, and men always wore caps.
And he had no wallet on him at all.
Incredibly unusual, even now.
Yep. He was clean-shaven, carried no identification whatsoever, which led police to believe that maybe he committed suicide.
If you commit suicide, you want people to know who you are.
Maybe, maybe not. His dental records weren't able to be matched to anybody, so they must have been in good condition.
Yeah.
They did do an autopsy, but the pathologist estimated that the time of death was around 2 a.m. Okay. So about 4 hours before he was found. The autopsy also showed that the man's last meal was a pasty.
Pasty.
Pasty. I love pasties, me. Oh,
that reminds me of we did a reading course in drama, and we had to read a monologue emphatically, as my teacher used to say, with emotion, with feeling. And I was so emotional that I was looking for my wiper, which is like my handkerchief. Only I was so into it that I convincingly went, "Where's my whipper? My whipper! I need my whipper!"
Oh my god.
3 times.
Oh no.
3 times. And it wasn't until the end of the monologue when my drama teacher was like, "That was excellent, except it's wiper, not whipper." And I was like...
You tried.
I went with it. Well, I was like, I'm dyslexic, it's not my fault.
You know what, I just never speak, because I as I was in work today, I was coming down from my lunch, and then this guy who works there was also coming up, and he said hi to me, and my mind and brain were not in sync.
No, so you said one thing of one and one of the other.
I said bye. So it's just hi, bye. And although I felt so bad afterwards, and all I was thinking was, he must think I'm an asshole.
But you know all those times I come in to speak to you, and I say my sentences backwards because I'm tired or I'm not thinking. Like the hot tap incident. I was like, "Don't touch it, the tap hot tap." What?
It do be though. It do be.
So anyway,
don't
back
worry.
to this case.
We can just not speak generally.
English is hard, man.
So
I stick to that.
He last ate a pasty. Good to know.
Pasties are good, man.
Yeah, some of them. And apparently that was 3 to 4 hours before he died.
Okay, so we're like 10 a.m.-ish. 10, 11 p.m.
Yeah, roughly, yeah. So a man called Dr. Dwyer concluded that...
Wild, considering apparently at 7 p.m. he was seen in the exact same spot.
I know. All these timelines are not matching up whatsoever. So honestly, it's like, who do you believe? Who's actually reliable? We'll never fucking know. This Dr. Dwyer said, to quote, I am quite convinced the death could not have been natural. The poison I suggested was a barbiturate or soluble hypnotic. So, poisoning seems to be a big theory.
Okay. It would explain the lack of physical trauma.
Yeah. Unless, the physical... Well, yeah, there was none on him whatsoever, yeah. So, poisoning remained a prime suspicion. The pasty, I'd like to comment, was not believed to be the source of the poisoning.
You can't,
So, you can still eat pasties.
Defamate the pasty like that, man.
So, don't worry about that.
I'd just like to reassure my father that he can, in fact, continue to eat pasties.
He can.
Because my dad
yes.
does love a pasty.
So you can still go down Greg's, don't worry.
Honey, he doesn't get Greg's pasties.
I'm sorry. Too lower class for that.
No, he makes them. They're really nice.
The police, however, were unable to ever get a positive identification of the man.
Hence why he's named the Somerton Man.
So, on the 14th of January, 1949, the staff at the Adelaide railway station discovered a brown suitcase that had had its label removed. It had actually been checked into the station cloakroom at around 11 a.m. on the 30th of November. It was believed that the suitcase was owned by the man found on the beach.
Oh! Okay, so we have some property from the man.
Yeah, which would kind of make sense if the label on his suitcase was taken off and the labels on his clothes were taken off. It kind of links them. In the suitcase, they did find a thread card of a Barber brand orange waxed thread of an unusual type not available in Australia.
Okay.
It was the same as that used to repair the lining in the pocket of the trousers that the dead man was wearing. So, second thing links in together. All identification marks on the clothes, like I said, had been removed, but the police did find on the tie the name T. and then surname Keen on the tie. But it came to nothing. They couldn't find any records of this person, so they were like, is it a fake name? Is it someone else's name? Is it a secondhand tie? Yeah. Because apparently that was done quite a bit back then, they would just keep the labels of previous owners on the stuff. So it was just way too many possibilities, no way to find out the answers. They didn't get anywhere with it. The police believe that whoever removed the clothing tags either overlooked the 3 items or purposely left the name
to misplace.
On the clothes, knowing that that was not his name. Although, like I said, it was common practice to use name tag, it was common when buying second-hand clothing. Or if someone bought second-hand clothing, a lot of the time they would remove the tags from the clothes.
Yeah, altogether, because they had incorrect names on them, which could explain his clothing.
Exactly. A search concluded, like I said, that that name that was found was just
irrelevant.
No person of that name was declared missing in any kind of English-speaking country. Police checked incoming train records, and they believed that the man arrived at the Adelaide train station by an overnight train from either Melbourne, Sydney, or Port Augusta, before returning to the train station to buy a ticket for the 10:50 a.m. train to Henley Beach, which for some reason he missed or didn't catch, and then obviously died. So like I said, it does sound like he had plans to go elsewhere. For whatever reason.
But this was like a pit stop, and he just didn't
Why
make
else would he buy the ticket? He noted that the man's shoes were very clean, and appeared to have been recently polished. So, clearly looks after himself.
Or he's smarting himself up for something at this end destination.
Or a killer did it. to, remove evidence. Yeah. And this was not the condition that the police expected of a man who had apparently been wandering around the town all day. So, little sus. He added that this evidence fit in with the theory that the body may have been brought to the Somerton beach after the man died.
Yeah.
Which would account for the lack of evidence of any kind of vomiting or convulsions. Then obviously that he was poisoned. Mm-hmm. A man called Hicks stated that if death had occurred 7 hours after the man was last seen to move, from the eyewitness testimony, it would imply that a massive dose could have still been undetectable. And it was also noted that the movement seen by the witnesses at about 7 p.m. could have actually have been his last convulsion before he died, if he was poisoned.
But then how did he eat the pasty 3 hours later?
It's just questions. It's just questions in this case, I swear.
I'm still hung up on this, trust me to get hung up on a pasty. I'm hung up on this pasty.
I was like, do I include the pasty? And I was like, yeah, it's going to be funny. I'm going to include the pasty.
I need this pasty to be explained.
Lightens it up a bit.
Because
nothing in this case is explained. Listen to me.
But where does one gain a pasty at 11?
Maybe someone forced him to eat it. I don't know. Don't question me. A tiny piece of rolled up paper with the words "Tamam should" were printed on it was found in a fake pocket, which was sewn in the dead man's trouser pocket. So he had a fake pocket, a secret pocket in his trousers.
Probably with the thread that was from the case.
Probably.
Yeah.
And it had inside a weird roll, just a little piece of paper that said the 2 words "Tamam should" on.
Tamam should.
Yeah, it's it's not English. Public library officials were called in to transcribe what that meant, and it's a phrase meaning ended or finished.
Okay. What language? If you have it.
It was found on the last page, and I'm gonna brutally mispronounce all of this.
Oh god.
It was found on the last page of the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. It's a book that's.
Is it a book?
It's I don't know what language it is, but it's a foreign language.
Okay.
But yeah. So I'm just saying, if he was killed, the man was. Whatever business they had, it was done. It was finished. So the killer could have left that. Or he could have put it in. And then, if he was committing suicide, for example, he could have put it in there to signify his life was finished. I mean, it was finished either way, mate, but, point that out there. I don't... It's a very weird bit. So
none of this sounds like a suicide.
It's just nothing makes sense in this case. Nothing at all. So the copy of the Rubaiyat, so the page that this piece of paper from a book was actually found. The book that it was taken from was found.
Okay.
Somehow.
That's impressive detective work.
Yeah. It was so it was actually found in the back seat of a car not that far away. It led them to this woman. She referred to the man who found the book, and he went under a false name of Ronald Francis. Though, again, that came to no leads.
No.
False name. The poem's subject led the police to theorise that the man maybe then committed suicide by poison. But no other evidence really went with that theory. So a telephone number was also found in the back of that book.
Okay.
That the piece of paper sewn inside of his pocket was found in.
Mm-hmm.
And the number belonged to a nurse called Jessica Thompson. When she was interviewed by the police, she was just very sus the whole time. Not in the sort of I killed him way, but in the sort of I know more than
I know more and I don't want to say anything.
Yeah. Thompson said that she didn't know the dead man, or why he would have her phone number.
But she did, and she did know why.
Or why he would choose to visit her suburb on the night of his death. However...
so she lived near there as well?
Yeah.
Ooh!
And other people stated that it's highly that they, if not knew each other, had spoken before, at least.
They could have had relations.
They could have. That's also a theory. She also reported that at some time in late 1948, an unidentified man attempted to visit her and also had asked the next door neighbour about her. Whether it's the same man, unknown, possibly not. There has been constant speculation that the dead man could have been a spy, due to the circumstances and the historical time of his death.
It would have been just after World War II or still during?
I want to say after.
I want to say after as well.
The body of...
This is where our history...
I know.
Our history kind of gets sucky.
So, the body of the unknown man, the Somerton Man, was buried in Adelaide's West Terrace Cemetery, and the Salvation Army conducted the service.
It was after World War II, BTW.
Yeah.
World War II finished in 1945.
Okay, nice. The South Australian Grandstand Bookmakers Association paid for the service for the man. He got a pauper's burial. Though his body was like dug up and stuff constantly to be looked at again, to see if they could find any clues, but nothing really ever came of it. Years after the burial, flowers began appearing on the grave.
What?
Yeah. The police questioned a woman seen leaving the cemetery around that time. Flowers were put down, but she claimed she never knew anything about the man. Still a bit sus. Around that same time, a woman called Ina Harvey, who was the receptionist from the Strathmore Hotel opposite the Adelaide railway station, revealed that a strange man had stayed in room 21 or 23 for a few days around the time of his death, and he checked out on the 30th of November. She recalled that he was English-speaking and only carried a small black case. For example, one a musician or a doctor might carry.
So a very small, like, bookcase.
The sort of bag that they found in the station. He was still apparently contacted by people in Europe. People still would contact them, believing that maybe he was a missing relative. They didn't really...
happened.
Yeah. They hoped that they would find the man's family grouping, but apparently during that period, around 1948-49, so many war criminals changed their names and tended to come to different countries, so that's another theory out there. But ultimately, there is no other information to the case than that.
So that's it?
That's it.
We got a dead man on a beach, possibly murdered, possibly not.
No cause of death can be found. No identification of the man can be found. That there is no suspects whatsoever.
No trail.
No trail.
No endgame. Nothing. Just
there is nothing.
Poof, he's dead and he's there.
So I have a picture of, because obviously they put his picture.
Oh, please show me.
In the newspaper. So I'm going to tell you now.
Okay.
He is deceased in this picture.
Okay, thank you.
But he doesn't look like it.
Okay, that's fine.
So this is a picture of the Somerton Man.
He looks like just an average guy.
Yeah.
Like, he looks like half of the people in Leeds.
Yeah.
He's just your average looking white man.
No trauma, nothing. Poison seems to be the most likely thing. I reckon he was murdered, and out of all the theories, I'm probably the closest to like spy, but I'm not going to determine that, but I do think he was murdered.
I think probably war criminal.
Maybe, but...
Or at least,
I still think...
soldier on the run.
The women, though, in the case definitely know more than what they're saying. Absolutely.
Yeah. Because a guy doesn't just detour to a coastal village on his way to somewhere else.
I'm just saying that first woman, that Thompson, definitely knows more.
Ah, definitely.
Because
and I'm sorry, but that secretary...
Why would he have her number? How would he have even gotten it?
Yeah, numbers weren't widely available back then. You had to get them from the source.
Her number was in the back of a book, where a piece of paper from that same book was found in a fake pocket in his trousers. You can't tell me that's not like... a link of some kind.
Unless it links her to the killer.
Maybe. But apart from that...
Because they said that
at the beginning...
the secretary at the hotel said that a well-dressed man stayed there for 2 days.
That could have been the
killer. But the Somerton man was only there for a day.
True. So it could have been the killer.
So it could have been the killer.
Yeah.
And if the killer was there, it explains why he had her number.
And the beginning, and obviously it said that some witnesses believe they saw a man being carried over the shoulder.
Yeah.
I believe that is what happened.
I believe it's quite possible that man, the Somerton man...
But, also...
was running and he got tracked down.
The reason for why he was killed we'll never know, also. Yeah. So it's...
Motive. What motive?
Literally, this case...
Nothing. It's just blank.
There's nothing concrete at all.
There's just...
Except the fact that there is a deceased man. And he will be forever known as the Somerton Man.
Maybe that's how he wanted it.
Either way, that's what's happened, and I sincerely believe this case will never be solved.
Oh, no. Without a doubt. It's nearly 60 years now.
It's way too late. Yeah, I think, personally.
Yeah.
So unless someone on a deathbed or some shit makes the dying confession that they know more than they're saying...
Nobody murders somebody that cleanly who hasn't done it a million times before.
Well, you never know. One of the other people on their deathbed, maybe one day. But I doubt it too, honestly. So, that was the Somerton Man.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
Baffling.
Nice little short one.
I'm still tripped up about that pastry, because what the fuck?
I know I should have... Yeah, I'm glad I involved that one.
What if he was a twin?
Yeah, maybe a case of mistaken identity. Yeah, just generally, yeah. Because he does just look like a standard white man. Yeah.
He looks so...
normal.
I do not mean this in any insult, but he looks so average.
Yeah.
There's nothing... Yeah. You don't look at him and go, oh, he's attractive.
The thing is...
But you don't look at him and go, oh, he's ugly.
In a crowd...
He would blend.
He would blend in.
He would disappear.
And maybe that was intentional. Maybe it wasn't.
Maybe that's what made him possibly a good spy.
But either way, it's something that has helped make him unidentifiable. So...
Rip that man.
Yeah. Whoever he is. Whoever he was.
Whoever he was, yeah, because fuck if we know.
No, we're never probably gonna know. So,
Jesus.
That was the case. A nice little short one for you there of the Somerton Man.
Yeah.
Unsolved mystery. If you're out there and you know anything about Somerton Man, please tell me.
Please tell anybody.
But also me.
But also tell this woman because she's
I'm just a whore.
She's a whore for true crime. I wasn't going to go that far.
I'm just a total slag.
Total slag for true crime.
I really am. I'm okay with that.
It's okay. We can admit our failings in this flat.
Yeah. It's a nice treat.
It's nice, yeah.
It's
of use to me.
Well, exactly. There you go.
Yeah.
So if you enjoyed episode 13, stay tuned.
That was episode 12, baby.
You're correct. That was episode 12. I am just losing track of life itself at the moment.
Right. We've already covered not being able to speak. Not being able to recall numbers is just a natural flu.
Yeah. So Becky has chosen 2 crimes for the next 2 episodes.
What did I pick?
We have, let's see, the first one is the assassination of John F. Kennedy. JFK. So that'll be a juicy conspiracy one.
That was the first,
death video
I ever watched, and it was last year. I watched it last year. I don't think you've really
seen any others, have you?
No, just the live.
Just that one.
Just the live footage.
Yeah. It's still pretty brutal though.
It's savage because you can see it, and he just goes down, and you're just like, he just died.
Yeah.
Fuck the fact that he's a president. The man just died.
Yeah, she's such a newbie to watching people die. Honestly,
I don't watch
snuff stuff. Now, you know what? Fair. Yeah, you shouldn't.
You're talking to the person who watches Animal Park for fun.
Yeah, I won't know what that's like.
Okay? I got excited and started jumping around the facts about baby tigers.
Yeah, we watch very different things, but we know that is fine. And then episode 14 is a nice little short one.
No, it's not. It's the Moors murders.
No. Yeah, that could be episode 15, actually.
15 is the short one, but 14 is the Moors murders.
14, we are doing the Moors murders. Live in the area, so...
Plus, it comes up as a on the curriculum for my engendering criminology class.
There you go.
Looking forward to that. We're focusing on the woman mainly.
Yeah, Myra Hindley, I think.
Yeah, Myra Hindley.
And, the one still missing boy, sadly, who was never found.
Never found. Just the one boy.
I still have hope that one day his body will be found. But it's a big-ass place. I want to go there, though. Just to be like, this happened, and there is a boy somewhere here. Should we just go there and just start digging? Are we allowed to do that?
No.
I think we can do that. Just be like, we're looking for the boy. Not the boy in the box, I want to clarify.
There are a lot of boys.
There are a lot of boys that just die. Yeah. Okay, we're calling it off now. This has been BB True Crime. If you've enjoyed, stay tuned. We're coming out with more episodes. We're enjoying it a lot. Hope you are too. I'm Beth.
I am Becky, and that was BB True Crime. Y'all have a nice week.